Hi, I'm Shontal. I live in England. I was sexually assaulted at the age of 5 to 11. I grew up in a really good home. Like, my mum, I loved my mum and dad. They loved me. Nothing could ever, go wrong or anything, and no one knew what was going on. My mum was a stay-at-home mum. My dad worked away. My father, he rides motorbikes, so he goes away on weekends or maybe a week or so away on the motorbike with my mum. So we used to have people babysit us. So maybe my aunties, my nan, maybe other friends of the family. But this one person, he is my mum's brother. When my uncle came round, at the time I thought he was my favourite uncle because he used to come round, give us hugs, maybe some sweets. I can't remember little details of that, but he used to hug me way too long. I'd be sitting on his lap, he'd be touching between my thighs, and I thought it was normal because he used to do it in front of my brother. Just my brother would be just sitting there, we'll be talking, we were just sitting there. He would never do anything in front of my family, nothing. I probably sat on him in front of my family, but there was these times where my brother walked out the room, and I think this is when it was sort of started, but I don't know if it started at a younger age because I don't remember anything younger than 5. He asked me to kiss him, and just a little peck as your child would do, a little peck as you peck your mum, your dad. You don't think to kiss him, so he would say no, longer. So I kissed him probably more than 2 seconds. And then he will go, no, longer. So it was more than 3 to 5 seconds. And then he will say, okay, now open your mouth. And I was really confused because I didn't know what kissing was. All I know is when you peck someone, that's a big thing. Even if it's someone you peck him. You don't think to romantically kiss him. So he just put his tongue in my mouth, and he was trying to kiss me like a grown-up would kiss. I was just sitting there with my mouth open, didn't know what to do. And it made me feel really uncomfortable. It was a really weird gut feeling. This wasn't okay. My mum and dad doesn't do this to me. Why is he doing it to me? And when he stopped, I think that was it, because I think my brother come in the room because he heard my brother coming in. And it was I got up, and I think I just walked to my room feeling very uneasy. It was very uncomfortable that I went through something like that, but I just shook it off my shoulders. It was just, okay, he's my uncle. Maybe it's just what uncles and nieces do. I grew up to my family telling me to respect family members and basically just listen, not thinking anything would happen. But in my head, I got the respect your elders. And so I respected his wishes. So if he told me do not tell anyone, it's our little secret, I kept it as a secret. And I think from him constantly, every time it happened, he was constantly telling me, don't tell anyone this happened, or don't say anything because I will get into trouble and you will get into trouble. Typical things that someone like that would say. And at that age, I thought, the industry my dad was in, with the whole bike scene, in my little head, I was I know deep down what my dad could do. He hasn't done anything to show me that he could do it, but when you see or even think about someone on a motorbike, you think the motorbike industry, it's a weird thing. So I knew, and as well, my dad was a big bearded guy, so I thought my dad could take him probably. And so I didn't want to get my dad in trouble because I thought he could go to prison, because I think at that age, growing up, I knew it was bad, but I didn't think it would get to that bad. I just thought if I just did these little things, these little kissing, and maybe he just puts his hands on my thighs, he would just leave me alone. But it just got worse from there upwards, because that's sexual assault. It was never rape or anything like that. It was just fondling and just basically getting too close to my lady area. When he made me go down on him when I was 5, 6, and it sounds really weird and bad, all I could think about is how hairy he was. So I couldn't think of anything else of going into an imaginary place. I just felt of am I doing it right? And I remember when I went, obviously it sounds so bad, but I went down on him, all I can remember of him saying, "Don't buy it," and that is just stuck in my head, even through like relationships when I got older, from like when I started experimenting with other people, and when they say, "Oh, don't buy it," it just takes me right back to that time. So I don't like when people say, "Oh, don't buy it." It's like, it's like a nervous. I get really nervous about it. I think how it happened was when I was always upstairs because me and my brother was always good kids, so we always stayed in our bedrooms when we were told, when we come downstairs to see guests. But I knew when my mum said that, "Oh, your uncle's looking after you tonight," I was straight to my bedroom. Okay, I'm going to my bed. So I went to my bedroom, and I feel like every time she said, "Oh, your uncle's coming," I'll go straight to my room, because that's normally where it happens. Or weirdly enough, it happened in my mum's bedroom when my mum and dad was away for the evening or gone for the weekend. I remember him just coming into the bedroom. He would always go see my brother first. So he'll go past my bedroom, go see my brother, and he will talk to my brother, maybe play a little on his Xbox with him, PlayStation at the time. Come down, because we had like a 2-story house, I think. So bottom floor, middle floor, and then, my brother lived in like the attic, the loft, where it was like decked out to be a bedroom. And he'd come down and he will come to my bedroom, and he would sit on my bed, touch my legs, and then he would like lay down next to me, and he would whisper stuff in my ear, like tell me to touch his areas, and then he will try to do his business in me. But every time he tried, he would say, "Is it in?" And I'll say, "Yeah, it's in," not knowing what he meant by "is it in." I just said yeah, and I don't know if he did. I don't know, because it was sort of like it just happened so quick, and he got up and left. And by every time it happened, I always got a water infection, because I think he kept on pushing it against my bladder area, so not where the vagina hole is, like where the pee hole is. So every time that's the only time I was actually scared for him coming over, because I knew I was getting a water infection. At the time, I didn't know what water infection was. Never told my mum that I had water infections, because I think she would have catched on that every time he'd come round, I'd say, "Oh, well, every time I pee, it hurts." And I feel like she would catch on, but I never said anything. I just sort of grinned and buried it, and just suffering while I went to the toilet. And I just didn't know how to feel about that. When you're 5 or 6 and you have some really sharp pains when you pee. So you get scared to go to the toilet. But I know every time it happened, it would have been because of what he was doing. So the thing is, I never thought of it to be him taking my virginity, because it never like went in. But it was sort of like the mindset of him doing it to me, trying to do it to me at 5. It's sort of, wow, that, and like to try and like get over it. Like, I don't mind talking about it. It doesn't really upset me as much as it would other people, but I think talking about it really helps, and joking about it, that sounds so bad. I joke about it, and it makes me feel, if I sit there and talk to someone about it and I get really upset, then it's an upsetting moment for me. But if I joke about it, it doesn't hurt. So I don't sit there and talk so like sad about it, because it's in my past, and it's not like he can come out of prison and do it to me again. I think I was angry for a long time. I was very angry. I think I was more angry at myself more than anything, because I could have said something to stop their whole abuse of what's happening. But even like talking to my parents about it, they sort of glad that I didn't say anything, even though they wish I did. But they know if I did say something, they would have been in prison. I wouldn't have had a mum and dad, because they would have killed him. He was in prison at the time of this whole, like, how that thing happened, like when it happened, and I told everyone. Well, I didn't tell everyone, but it got let out. But she was scared to tell my dad because it was just one of them things that it's her brother, and she's gonna tell her husband that her brother did that to his kid. So I see where she was coming from in that. But obviously she told him, and that evening they called the police straight away after my dad spoke to me. And I think that's the first time I saw my dad cry. And it was seeing a big scary biker cry. It's like a whole scary, like, oh, have I done something? Like, is it wrong for them to know? That it made my dad upset. He had to go on like depression tablets because of the whole, like, when we was doing the cult thing, he had to go on some depression medication. And I thought, my parents are going through, it sounds like I'm trying to protect their feelings and my own, and I shouldn't feel that way. But even now, like, I don't like speaking to him about it. I'm more open with my mum about it than my dad, because he doesn't like to talk about it, because I think in his head he couldn't protect me, in that certain way, and it feels like he's let me down. But I didn't open up and say anything, so I don't want him to feel that way. My uncle carried this out to be when I was about 5 to about 11, because he went to prison. He got put in prison for raping a 12-year-old, and no one knew. We think the other half of my mum's family knew, but my mum didn't. She knew he went to prison for, I don't know what it's called, where you basically beat someone up and you get put in prison for it for 3 years. And basically, yeah, so he went into prison for he had a 6 years, 6 years in prison, but he only spent 3 years in prison at that time. So about 2012 to 2014, he was in there for, and then my story come out 14 to 15, and then that's when he went into a prison for 18 years for extended prison time for my case that come out. And it's crazy to think that he only served 6 years for raping a 12-year-old and 18 years for just sexually assaulting like a minor. And I think, even thinking that way, it's sort of like 6 years for actually raping a child, and 18 years on top of that for just, I know it's not just sexual assault, and I know it's more than that, but it's just crazy to think how prison time works. And I feel like he should have deserved more longer time than that. I think I grew up way too quickly than I should. I knew too much at a young age. And when it was happening, I remember him taking me out of my bed, because I think I stayed at my nan's house when he was living there. And I remember him taking me out of the bedroom, putting me in his bedroom, telling me to go down on him, touching my areas. And then once he's done with me, he just basically told me to walk off to my own bedroom. Like I was just some little meat before him, just to throw away afterwards. I sort of felt like my innocence just gone. Like I didn't feel like he only needed me for them reasons. The last situation was, I never told my mum directly, and I never told anyone directly. I told my friend, and she thought it was weird. She was just sort of like, oh, okay. That was just a weird conversation that she just had with me. I remember having a sleepover with my cousin, my little cousin. I think she's 2 years younger than me. And I just casually blurted out, oh, my uncle rapes me. And she's like, what? I was like, yeah, my uncle, my uncle, I said his name. And he was like, because she knew who he was. But at the time, I didn't think anything. It was like a serious deal. And I told her, oh yeah, he rapes me. It is what it is. And she's like, oh, okay. And then that was, the conversation ended, and we just carried on playing Barbies and like playing dress up and stuff like that. And then I remember getting told that she told her mum, so my auntie, and she told her mum, so my nan, and then my nan went to my mum. And that's when it was, my mum sort of was, I think my mum was shocked, so she didn't know how to respond to it. So she comes speaking to me to see if it was true, or my cousin was just making it up. And I told my mum everything, and she was so quiet. Like, she was just, like, all I can hear is her breathing. It sounded like her breathing was getting like faster, and like it was like, sounded like it was gonna cry breathing. But I just carried on. I started crying, and she hugged me, and she just said, carry on playing my game. So I did. So I don't know how long it took till my dad got home, but it felt like took ages for him to come home, because I was waiting for that door to close, like, well, open and close downstairs. And when he did turn up, I thought, oh, here we go. Well, what's going to happen? And then I heard my mum crying hysterically, like she couldn't breathe. That made me cry, because you don't want to hear your mum cry. And something that's happened to me, thinking, why is she crying? Like, I don't know, it sounds like me, it's all about me, but it's like, this happened to me, why is she crying about it? And well, obviously now I'm older, I know why she's crying. And then that was when my dad spoke to me and told me that it's going to be okay. And then that's when they called the police about it. And then I had an interview with people about in the police station about the whole ordeal. They recorded me. I think deep down I want to see that recording of me as like a 13-year-old talking about it, but I don't know how to even get hold of that. I was 13 when this ended. At the time, I thought it was normal, that it happens to everyone. So when I told my cousin and my friends, I just thought, oh, it's just a casual, normal thing for a young lady to go through. But I think by the expression of their face, I thought, oh, okay, maybe this is not normal and I shouldn't really talk about it much. So I never spoke to my friend about it since. What my uncle put me through has affected me in all sort of ways. When I was younger, like now, I'm not affected by it as much, because I've sort of opened up about it, and it's been released off my chest. I'm very happier now. But when I was younger, I was addictive to porn, and this is when it was happening to me as well. So I was watching porn every night. This is obviously to see, okay, that's what I should do next time. Okay, this is how I should lay. Okay, this is how he wants me to be. Because I think at that time, as being groomed, he groomed me to like it, I guess. Because I feel like every time I knew he was coming over, when I was about 9, 10, I think, it was sort of like, you just start hitting puberty. Because I know I started puberty when I was about 10. 9, 10. And I think at that time I feel like I wanted it, and I didn't know why I wanted it. And so when I was watching porn all the time, I think I was doing it more for him. And even thinking about it, like, grosses me out, even thinking about that. I started liking him giving me that attention, because I think you hit puberty, all the changes happen, so you think, okay, a man is attracted to me. So I think now, as an adult and being married and having a kid, I'm more, sex ain't all it. I'm not fussed about having sex anymore. My partner, he's more on that side of he wants to, but I'm very like, I'm married, I'm content. We don't need to do it anymore. I don't think any child should go through this at all. and it's hard to even try and stop the whole ordeal of it happening to a child, because no one knows it's happening. You know, you got monsters behind your closed doors. You got family members that could be doing it, fathers, mothers. Like, it's not just like just random people. It's just I want to help other children open up about it, and if this story will help, then I think it would help me, knowing that it would help them. And it's made me become more confident in myself, and knowing that it's okay to feel sad and angry about it, but it's made me a better person who I am, made me who I am today. And I'm a great person, loving, caring. I care about people's opinions, and I just care for people way too much, and I should, but it's just one of them things that I think it does help caring a lot, but it's just one of them ones. The people I leave my child with, I leave them with my mum, dad, my best friend. She has a little girl herself, so I leave him with her. I haven't left him with my partner's mum yet, because she lives all the way up in London. We've just recently started letting him stay overnight. Well, he stayed overnight with my friend, perfectly fine. In my head, I'm worried about people I don't know, but I know mainly everyone in my family, and the only people that are really looking after him is my mum and dad. Not even my dad, to be fair, probably my mum. So it does make me sit there and think, oh, who can I trust and who don't I trust?